Good morning. I have been celebrating this Sunday for 20 years. 20 years. And this is the first time ever that there's no congregation. 20 years ago, of course, I would have been in the congregation, not yet being a priest. It wasn't so long ago that we had the Year of Mercy. Sacred Heart of Jesus statue is still above the doors, designating this church as one of the churches to have the doors of mercy. And it was during that year that Father Nelson and I heard 27 straight hours of confessions as we celebrated Divine Mercy Sunday that year. You might say on this Sunday we need God's mercy more than ever before. Maybe for the first time in a long time, we realize our need for His mercy. This Sunday, friends, marks 1 month, that we've been unable to receive Holy Communion, and God continues, I believe, to invite us into deeper considerations of this life, faith, and what is really important during this time. My spiritual director, Deacon James Keating, recently gave a talk at Kendrick Glennon Seminary in St. Louis where he pointed out that the gods of America, and for that matter the world, have been brought to their knees. And it happened overnight. I mean, just think about it for a second. The god of sports. The arenas are empty. The god of entertainment. The stars. Theaters are closed. Nobody's going to concerts. The god of politics. That's a real interesting one. What's even going on in the race for president? And many others. All of them, actually. Gone. Dust in the wind. Found wanting. And maybe the worst of it all is they have left us alone. Meditate on that word. Alone. Alone with ourselves, right? It's not kind of a joke any longer. We all went into quarantine for a couple of weeks, but now, as we travel down this path, life is different. How many of us right now would say, well, we've been alone with our kids a lot. We've had to be the teacher of our children. And without the ability to kill time and find the distractions that we are so readily used to and sought before this contagion changed life as we knew it, without those things, we're alone in here. It's in this stillness of the quarantine, with all of the illusions that we once had, now revealed for what they are. Maybe for the first time in a long time, we begin to miss the real God. Maybe for the first time in a long time, we now realize who the real God is. It's in this stillness that we're unable to flee from one thing to another. Right? Remember the old hustle and bustle? It's in this place that we really realize that we need God's mercy. That we really need His love. And that we really, really need His compassion. We need him. Alone, everything shut down. All of the superficial life has failed us. And all we have left is him. The God who in his mercy desires to rest with us in this stillness, reminding us that we are not alone, but rather we are loved, forgiven, and frankly cherished. We were just too busy to see it, but not anymore. In light of this truth, on this Divine Mercy Sunday, as we continue on this journey of temporary exile, once again, just a couple of considerations and reflections as you make your spiritual communion this Sunday. First, as you sit in your homes watching this, in all honesty, what are your false gods? The idols that compete with Jesus for your heart. And we have a lot of them in the modern world. Sports, fashion, money, politics, social media, entertainment, sensuality, and the list goes on. What is it? Maybe it's been taken from you. And have you loved this false god, this idol, more than you have loved Jesus? Be honest about it, because we hide in these things. Most of the time, they're a little bit probably more interesting than what we think Jesus is. They're a little bit more immediately gratifying than what we perceive Jesus to be. This thing gives us what we want. And now that we are alone with ourselves, has the idol proved itself to be wanting? Maybe it's gone. And in that vacuum, just notice, even if it's a little bit, that your desire for the true and real living God is growing. He's not gone. Still right here. I think if we put it into words, it would sound something like this. Master, I don't want to serve this thing anymore. I'm starting to realize I want to serve you. Lord, I'm afraid. I don't know where life is going. We've never seen anything like this before. Comfort my heart. Give me your peace and lead us through this. Or how about Jesus? I recognize that I feel that I'm alone. And maybe all these idols have taken your place and distracted me, but I've been alone the whole time. And I'm just starting to see it. Would you love me? Love me, Lord. So if that's where you're at, the message of this Divine Mercy Sunday is that Christ stands with open arms and a heart radiating mercy and love for all of his children. For all of his children that desire to return to his embrace. He's not just your God. He's your dad. And he wants you to be safe in his home. He wants you, really. We all struggle with that, right? Our faults and foibles, shortcomings and sins. Yep. He wants you. Right where you're at. So as we celebrate Divine Mercy Sunday and your spiritual communion, reflect on these things in the silence and stillness of this time. In a certain way, it's kind of a gift. We've all slowed down and can see life a little bit deeper. You're not alone. He has not left you, even though this in here might feel a little lost right now. But rather, he has given all of his children a time of reflection upon the idols that we have been serving, and a deeper understanding during this time of how much we need him. Oh, do we need him? But the resounding message of this Divine Mercy Sunday is that he loves each and every one of us and wants us to be with him as he is with us.